As Pakistan gears up for elections on 25th July, terrorists in the garb of politicians now also have started campaigning aggressively. India Today is the only channel that is getting you this ground report from the campaign headquarters in Sargodha, the home turf of 2611 Butcher Hafiz Saeed. Now, the election terror has been casting a shadow on Pakistan's political discourse. Take a look at this report.
Pakistani civilians out on the streets against rogue spy agency ISI. Right outside Pak Army's Rawalpindi headquarters. Hours before crucial polls, Pak Army and ISI in the dock over trying to install a puppet government in Islamabad. A senior Islamabad High Court judge exposed how ISI rigs the poll process, backing its pick Imran Khan and keeping defiant Nawaz Sharif out.
ISI पूरी तरह जुडिशियल प्रोसीडिंग्स को मैनिपुलेट करने में इन्वॉल्व है। ISI वालों ने मेरे चीफ जस्टिस को अप्रोच करके कहा कि हमने इलेक्शन तक नवाज शरीफ और उसकी बेटी को बाहर नहीं आने देना।
My great honor and pleasure.
Pak Army proxies are meanwhile going all out to grab power. India Today became the first channel to reach den of 2611 mastermind Hafiz Saeed in Sargodha, only to find terrorists turn netas, including Saeed and son Tala, in full campaign gear.
Behind me is the camp office, as you can see, of Hafiz Saeed's son, Hafiz Tala Saeed. The man is a professor in the Punjab University, but he is actually campaigning in his hometown day in, day out, talking on to people, going on to people, meeting people.
FATF के 35 मुल्कों का इत्तेहाद है, वो पाकिस्तान को ब्लैक लिस्ट करना चाहता है। पहले ग्रे लिस्ट में डाला, फिर कहते हैं अब इसको ब्लैक लिस्ट करना है। अच्छा जी, ब्लैक लिस्ट बचाने के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं ये इस्लामाबाद वाले? मेरे खिलाफ केस बनाते।
Pak Army and ISI's sinister plans were out in the open when global terrorist Fazlur Rahman Khalil recently backed Imran Khan. And terror groups went about targeting political rallies, killing liberal voices. As terror gets mainstreamed in Pak, is its nuclear arsenal on the verge of falling in hands of terrorists. With Hamza Amir in Sargodha, Bureau Report, India Today.
So Pakistan facing elections on 25th July, but it's not been without controversies, and especially this time, probably for the first time ever, ISI's role also being questioned from within the influential fraternity in Pakistan. Let's debate and discuss what can be expected in the next few days. Joining me first as a strategic affairs expert, Sushant Sareen, also from across the border, defense and security analyst, Qamar Cheema, and also as a leader from the PML Nawaz Sharif's outfit as well, Sadia Khan. She's the leader of the party. Thank you to all three panelists for giving us your time. I want to first start with Qamar Cheema. Qamar, now it is on record. You can't blame India this time. It is a senior judge. It is the members of the fraternity. It is the PMLN supporters who are landing up outside the army headquarters, shouting slogans against the ISI. So clearly this means there is some confusion, if not chaos for now, that ISI could even be rigging these elections.
Well, I think there has always been a lack of institutional dialogue in Pakistan, and the Pakistani parliamentarians have talked on this, that we need to have a dialogue on this. One thing, remember back in 2007 when General Musharraf was the president of the country, at that time the judiciary and the military had serious fissures, and those fissures are also, they have reduced a lot, and this is the third time a transition going on in Pakistan, and the military and the judiciary supporting the democratic process together. Both the institutions are supporting, and the blame that is coming on Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf or Imran Khan that the party is being sponsored by the unelected institutions in Pakistan. One thing to remember is that this is the 23rd year of the of the party of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. That man has been having government in KPK. The point is, I think that the judge may have some sort of a confusion since he's in Islamabad, because
confusion
there has not been any debate.
Kamar, confusion about what?
Let me tell you the confusion. For example, for instance, there is an impression in Pakistan that the institutions have been meddling in Pakistan, to which international media has picked.
Your own institution, your own spy agency.
There is an impression. What I'm trying to tell is that the impression is there, that the institution, there is an impression, there is no reality. The difference between an impression and reality is there. You need to judge that. So impression is there, to which international media has picked, especially the left-wing international media, and that is why everybody is looking at that.
Even a senior judge is willing to pick that up. Is that what you're saying, Kamar Cheema?
We have the entire judiciary. There is an entire judiciary in Pakistan. Nobody's talking. And remember, this judge is very controversial. Unfortunately, for much of his statements he has given, that doesn't mean that whatever he's talking, there is a belief that he's the person, who is a very right-wing person, who has his belief for certain ideologies.
So what about PMLN supporters? They also gathered outside the army headquarters. They also raised similar slogans. Are they left-wing or are they right-wing?
Let me tell you, if there is a corruption cases against the leadership of the party, and the Pakistan's highest court and the lower courts are investigating those, and they have found the person guilty, and if he has been punished, that is where we want institutions to be strong. If institutions are working, they are delivering, they are planning, and they are making difference in the society. This is what the democracy is. So if the head of the party is getting punishment, that doesn't mean that they are controversial and they are trying to penalize the person.
All right, Sushant Sareen, you listen to what Kamar Cheema has just said. Democracy in Pakistan, well, we can have a debate there, but most significantly, do you think this is propaganda against the ISI, or this is the most unprecedented expose ever?
A lot of people have been already mentioning, and this is not new, this has been happening for months. The telltale signs were all there. The way candidates have been intimidated by the Department of Agriculture, which is the new euphemism for ISI. People are threatened, loyalties are being shifted, they are being changed. All sorts of shenanigans are underway. Now, to say that all of this is somebody is conjuring up these things out of their imagination, I think that is stretching the limits of incredulity. The fact of the matter remains that the entire deck has been loaded in a way to ensure one side's victory and another side's defeat. That is very clear. The other thing is that, look at the way the cases have been handled. The demonstrations which you are showing, I presume, are the demonstrations in favor of a candidate who yesterday was sentenced to life on a drug charge, and in that particular case, the way the entire case has proceeded, it seemed that his opposing candidate, who's supposed to be a darling of the establishment, although he's a very foul-mouthed guy, but that fellow has been done a favor and been given a walkover. So clearly, every case, every political case, the way it has been handled, and then of course, to try and equalize, to show that it's a level playing field, they will pick up one odd case of Imran Khan, so suddenly his helicopter misuse case, the NAB starts calling him, the NAB judge himself, the chief of NAB himself is a very disreputable character.
What about the senior judge, which Kamar Cheema says that, look at the background of that judge, he's controversial. And, you cannot just have one judge reacting to ISI. What do you say to that?
Pooja, we are talking about separate judges. One judge is who is the anti-corruption czar. He is the disreputable guy. The other judge we are talking about, who has mentioned that the benches are being, staffed by judges who are going to give a ruling in a particular direction.
Case,
This guy, Shaukat Aziz Siddiqui, he is of course a controversial judge. He is a very right-wing judge. He has given certain pronouncements which would shock civil society anywhere in the world, including against minority communities, including, literally demanding that minority communities have to declare their faith in every official document while they go and vote and everything else. So clearly he is a controversial guy. But I think the point which he has made in terms of the kind of intervention and the interference which is taking place in the political process, I think that is a point not just he but everybody else except PTI loyalists have been making, or spokespersons of the military establishment. Everybody else has been saying that this is a tainted election.
And why do you say that, Sushant? Before I go across to Sadia as well, there are already a lot of controversies with regard to the allegations, whether it's graft charges, whether it is rigging. But why do you think that it is very specifically, and we can call it tainted in many ways?
You know, the whole process is tainted, and one has been the pre-poll rigging which has been taking place, the way the Muslim League Mr. Nawaz Sharif's party has been hounded, their candidates forced to change their loyalties, forced to desert the party. Some of this used to happen in the normal course, but in the systematic manner it has targeted the Muslim League Nawaz is one particular indication. And then every time some other party starts making some noise, suddenly old cases, 10-year, 12-year-old cases are resurrected, inquiries are put in place, they are summoned for giving evidence. All sorts of things have been happening.
And
so
then of course let's not forget Hafiz Saeed campaigning with his son and son-in-law. I mean, if that can be permitted, if terrorists can be permitted with regard to their family members to campaign,
that's a completely that's another matter altogether.
Yes. Well, clearly all of this seems to be only raising more questions. Let me now go across to
That's
Sadia.
Another matter altogether, Pooja, because that is...
Yes, Sushant, go ahead. Finish your point, then I'll go to Sadia.
Please, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, let me now ask this question to Sadia as well. She's the leader from the PML Nawaz Sharif faction as well.
These fanatical extremist parties.
Yes. Sadia, now Qamar Cheema, who is of course from Pakistan, is saying that what do you expect from parties whose leader is facing graft charges? Of course their supporters may just likely lead those processions we saw outside the army headquarters. What do you have to say if those supporters can decide to go across to a army headquarters, raise anti-ISI slogans, say the elections are rigged? What is the morale there of the voters as well? What is the party saying about it?
Well, listen, that is still either they were workers of PMLN or not.
Okay.
Because according to current scenario and whatever happening around, I mean, everybody is busy in their respective constituencies. Each and every worker is busy to campaign for their leaders who are contesting from their respective constituencies. This is still not clear who were those people who were chanting slogans against army or ISI in front of that headquarters. I mean, it's not clear by, and nobody has.
But do you believe that your leaders have been hounded at a very wrong time to set and demoralize the people of the party?
Is nothing like that. We should not forget that PMLN has just completed a very successful regime of 5-year democratic regime.
Okay.
And we have done Pakistan. You can see law and order situation is much better than PPP's regime, and you can see infrastructure development. CPEC is one of the good example of that. We have completed 5 years of democracy in Pakistan, and this is very natural because of popularity of PMLN among masses and the voter. They can see the voter turnout will be increased other than the previous 10 years of PMLN.
So what is your counter to a party like Milli Muslim League? He clearly not has only resources, but with the speech that he's been given, with the backing that he has with other terror organizations, what really is the hope for a party like PMLN?
PMLN doesn't need any ally who have notorious name in country and out of the country. PMLN have its own candidates. Those who have left party, they were already changing party previously. I mean, they can see the flow of voter and they can go. It's up to them. But still PMLN have their successful candidates who are contesting from their constituencies all over Pakistan. We have some new candidates as well. We have some new joining of candidates as well. And those are electables, inshallah. They will be winning, will be majority again, and will be forming government.
But do you suspect, do you also suspect there could be rigging, that there is some confusion with the election procedure? What are the party insiders saying?
No. There is nothing like that. We are quite hopeful. There will be free and fair elections. There will be transparency polling. There will be no rigging. It's too early to talk about rigging or anything like that. Nothing like that. No.
All right, Sushant, what do you say to that? Clearly the PMLN leader wants to sound very hopeful right now.
No, I think she's trying to protect herself
Yes.
from what could happen if she was to speak the truth, because her leader, assuming that Shahbaz Sharif is her leader, has given a press conference just yesterday or day before in which he has actually said much of what I am telling you. Her other leader, assuming she considers him still to be a leader who has been jailed, and in my view very unfairly and on completely very flimsy kind of charges, he has been raving and ranting against the way the deck is being stacked against the Muslim League Nawaz. There are other parties, including the People's Party and the ANP, who have been complaining about how the entire system is operating inside Pakistan right now. Now, for this lady to say what she is saying, I can completely understand the kind of fear, psychosis which might have been taking over on her. But for her to say that I don't know who these people who were protesting were, when every Pakistani news channel is reporting that these are PMLN workers, people who are voters of Hanif Abbasi who has been sentenced to life. So if she is in denial, I don't need to be. Thankfully, I am not going to be intimidated by the Department of Agriculture of Punjab. So I'm kind of safe.
Okay, that sounds fair. Kamar Chima, you're smiling, but remember, the country there has given an open forum to a man like Hafiz Saeed, a known 2611 mastermind. There is a message that's going across. It is the military establishment. Now it could even be a terrorist government. What is happening in the country? There needs to be at least some stop somewhere.
Well, I think first of all, I would like to tell that to what Mr. Sushant Sareen was mentioning, that the accountability czar in Pakistan is controversial. I think that person is picked by the leader of the opposition and the leader of the government. So it is the opposition and the government, they both pick the person who is in charge of the accountability process, calling it the NAB, National Accountability Bureau. One thing. Second, coming to the point what you are talking and referring, I think here I have been talking and mentioning here time and again that there must be a national debate that how to bring in fold the elements which have not been involved in the democratic process, especially the right-wing elements who want to embrace constitution, who want to embrace law, who want to be part of the democratic process, who want to come into the democratic fold.
After having conducted terrorist activities across the border.
I think this is where we need to debate. I think until and unless Pakistan does not decide it very clearly, and Pakistan's parliament does not talk on that very clearly.
Sushant wants to interject.
Such kind of voices which are coming from India, or
should they even get a platform? Should they even get a platform, sir? Kamar, that is what I'm asking Sushant Sareen. Yes.
Can I comment?
Okay, finish your point, then I'll go to Sushant Sareen.
I think those elements around the globe which want to embrace the constitution or want to come into the democratic fold, they must be allowed. If Taliban in Afghanistan are asked to come into the office and embrace the Afghan constitution, the FARC rebels in Colombia have been embraced. I think the people who have dropped the weapons, who have dropped the guns and want to come into the democratic fold, they must be appreciated.
Sounds very good, sir, but we know what is happening in Pakistan. Sushant Sareen, you wanted to counter that. Go ahead.
You know what, Pooja, I don't know whether this is self-deception or this is typical dissemble. The fact of the matter remains that, for example, let's take the Milli Muslim League and some of these other parties, or let's take the Tehreek-e-Labbaik, which is an extremist Barelvi Muslim party. What is the kind of rhetoric they are using as far as their election rallies are concerned? Does that show any degree of moderation? Now, the assumption with Mr. Chima is talking about or proceeding on is that their entry into the political mainstream is going to moderate these guys, it's going to wean them away from militancy. That is not happening. There is not a single instance of either the Lashkar-e-Taiba or the Jamaat-ud-Dawa or whatever other name they go by having renounced violence, having given up jihad. In fact, their entire program, their entire slogans are about how effective they have been in jihad.
I also want to bring in the independent candidate Gibran Nasir, who's constantly being targeted. There are videos circulating, Kamar Chima. Yes.
Allow me to say this. Allow me to say this, Pooja. Let me just finish my point. You know, Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed, who pretends to be the Mother Teresa of Pakistan, has always insisted that he has nothing to do with violent jihad or any kind of militancy. And yet, at the hustings, their very party men and his son have been proclaiming and loudly shouting from the rooftops that they were in the forefront and they are in the forefront of jihad in Jammu and Kashmir and in other parts of the world. So, you know, what is this thing these guys are talking about?
Final comment, if a person like Gibran Nasir, an independent candidate, is asked to declare whether Ahmadiyas, Qadainis are, whether they are Muslims or not, is that the level of political discourse that Pakistan elections are witnessing? Final comment.
Yes, I think the Election Commission of Pakistan needs to be tough on such kind of statements, and they need to take notice of that. That is where the Pakistan's Election Commission is there. If such kind of statements come in, hate speech is not allowed in any way in Pakistan's constitution. And second thing, I would just like to reply. I think if the parties like Jamaat-e-Islami and Jamiat-e-Ulama-e-Islam, Fazlur Rahman, they have been moderate. They have moderated themselves. No, they are the moderate parties. They don't have that anti-India rhetoric in their election campaign. That is the level of the maturity of the Islamic parties, although they are the right wing, but they're trying to embrace the things, they're trying to embrace the process, and the voter is getting very much the democratic.
Okay, I'm completely short on time there, but Qamar Cheema, Sushant Sareen and Sadia Khan, thank you so much for joining us, keeping the debate civil. We will wait and watch on 25th July when Pakistan goes for those general elections, because India will also have to keep a watch on, could it be a terrorist government coming very soon in Pakistan. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned and do give us feedback as well.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.